Welcome, Uplifting Life Partners. Let's ignite possibilities together. I'm absolutely thrilled you're here for our second Self Love Wednesday episode of Marriage Mastery Simplified. Last week in episode 1, we took that crucial first step, reconnecting with your core self. We talked about rediscovering your values, passions, and that unique spark that makes you you. Now, I hope you took some time to truly sit with those insights because knowing who you are is powerful. So today we're building on that foundation by talking about how to protect that incredible self you're rediscovering. Makes sense, right? So we're going to dive into a topic that many find challenging, yet is absolutely vital for inner peace and strong relationships. It's called setting healthy boundaries. Get ready to protect your peace and empower your life. So, what are boundaries? Why are they not selfish? Well, boundaries are about protecting your peace. Simply put, they're the invisible lines you draw around yourself to protect your energy, your time, your values, and your well being. They define what you're okay with and also what you're not okay with. They're your personal rule book for how you allow others to treat you and how you engage with the world. Now, here's the common misconception. Many of us have been taught, intentionally or not, that setting boundaries is selfish, that it means you don't care about others, or you just being difficult. But let me tell you, that couldn't be further from the truth. Think about it. Can you truly give your best, authentically and joyfully, if your energy is constantly drained? If you're resentful because your needs are constantly being ignored? See, healthy boundaries, they aren't about building walls. They're about building strong foundations. They're about self-respect, which then allows you to show up more fully and genuinely for others. When you protect your peace, you have more peace to share. Make sense? So boundaries are an act of self-love. They're how you honor the core self we talked about last week. If you value peace, you set boundaries around chaos. If you value your time, you set boundaries around endless commitments. It's that simple and it's that profound. So, if it's that vital, how do I identify and then set boundaries? Well, to figure out where you even need boundaries, it often starts with noticing where you feel drained, resentful, or disrespected. Pay attention to those little internal alarms. They're there for a reason. Now, here's some common areas where boundaries are essential. One of them would be time boundaries. Woo! Man, do you constantly find yourself overcommitted? Saying yes when you desperately want to say no? Feeling like your personal time is constantly being used up by everyone else? See, this could be about setting boundaries around your schedule, your availability, or even just carving out some non-negotiable me time. Now, Tony Anthony Robbins, he has this theory he calls the hour of power. The belief is, and I definitely agree, that you need to take at least 1 hour a day and it's all about you. He asks that you could use it to take a walk during that time. Think of all the things you could be grateful for. Now, I'm getting off the topic here a little bit, but I remember when I was in Hawaii, and at the time I was doing like 5-mile walks as the sun was coming up. Now, I'll be honest with you. My thoughts was, when Tony mentioned that, who could be grateful for an hour? I'm grateful I woke up. I got some food to eat. I got family and friends I love that love me. After that, man, I'm done. You could tell I had a very healthy attitude for this exercise. Well, I decided to stay coachable. And I decided one morning to attempt this gratitude thing, especially since I was walking anyway. So I had my Walkman. For those that don't know, it's a portable cassette tape player. It allows you to listen to your favorite music, or in my case, self-development courses, or positive programming. Now, of course, you want to make sure you have your headphones with you so that you aren't bothering everybody else. And at the same time, the Walkman attaches to your hip. At least mine did. So I made the decision before I started walking that day that on the 2.5 mile walk up, I would devote to self-growth. And on the way back, I'd do this gratitude thing. So you could tell, again, I had the right attitude. Further from the truth. So again, I began my walk and my Walkman stopped immediately. Now I was about to figure out why. And then I thought, you know what? Go ahead. Do that little gratitude thing first, since it ain't going to take that long. Then figure out what happened. Do you know I almost completed the entire 5 mile walk being grateful? That's why I call it the gratitude walk. To say I was amazed, I was beyond that. Now, see, on one side, I had the beach of me, the beach on the side of me, and on the other side, I had the main street, which goes throughout the island. So, but as I did this walk, of course, looking at both sides, I caught myself saying things like, I'm grateful to hear the water. I'm grateful to see the waves. I'm grateful to have the eyes and the sight to watch the sun come up. I'm grateful to have feet to make this walk. I'm grateful to have socks to put on my feet. Matter of fact, I'm grateful I got shoes and that they fit. So as you could tell, every step that I took, I got more involved using all my human senses, and in the moment started realizing how fortunate we actually are. I almost completed the entire 5 miles being grateful. And I hope you realize, as I did, we have so much to be grateful for, yet our environment, our culture teaches us to spend every day of our life complaining about the one or two things we don't have instead of focusing on what we do have, which, by the way, the fastest way to accumulate the things that you don't have, gratitude. Woo, what a way to learn. Now, you know what's really scary or different, our message, depending on how you see the world? After I was almost back from the walk, my Walkman, which I was about to check and see why it didn't play the entire time, it started playing on its own. You're talking about a person's mind being blown. Whoo! But that things happen for a reason. So now, why is this message important here? Because everything we're talking about on Wednesday is about creating the best version of yourself. Then we take these lessons and we implement them into our partnership. And I hope you feel, or at least see, how being grateful, it allows you to see the world in a different way, which will give you a healthy perspective on life and in your partnership. So let's jump back into today's topic. Do you feel emotionally exhausted after certain interactions? Do you absorb others people's problems as your own? See, this is about protecting your emotional energy. It means deciding what emotional luggage you'll carry and what you'll gently release. This is about distinguishing between your emotions and others' emotions, not taking responsibility for other people's feelings or allowing them to project their moods on you. And they will. It's also about what you're willing to discuss and when. With that said, we do want to evaluate physical boundaries also. This isn't just about your personal space. It's about physical touch, sleep, self-care routines. It's about respecting your body's needs and limits. Here's another boundary, very specific for today's culture. Digital boundaries. Are you constantly checking your notifications? Feeling overwhelmed by social media? See, this is about setting limits on screen time, availability for messages, or even who you engage with online. Take back your time, and it is the only asset you have that you can never get back. Here's an action step for you. Grab your journal. Over the next few days, simply observe. Where do you feel resentment, a sigh of exhaustion, or an irritation? Those are often the signs pointing to a boundary that needs to be set. Now, this is definitely connected to knowing your core self. What did you learn about your values and needs in episode 1? Now, How do you protect them? Makes sense? See how they go hand in hand. So with our newfound clarity, how do we communicate these boundaries with grace? Because identifying boundaries is one thing. Communicating them, whole nother conversation. This is where many of us get stuck, fearing conflict or just disappointing others. But remember, the goal is to create peace. Now, here's a simple process for communicating boundaries with grace and clarity. Be clear and direct. Avoid hinting or being passive aggressive. Use I statements. For example, instead of "you always interrupt me," try "I need to finish my thought before I can listen effectively." Be calm and confident. Deliver your boundaries from a place of grounded self-respect, not anger or apology. Your tone, it matters as much as your words. Be concise. Don't over-explain or justify. A simple "I'm not available for calls after 7" is more effective than a long explanation about how tired you are. Because who wants to hear all that? Be consistent. This is perhaps the hardest part. The first few times you set a boundary, people might test you, and you know they are. But consistently teaches others how to treat you. So now let's tie this back to the relationships, especially those important ones. Setting healthy boundaries within your partnership is not about pushing your partner away. It's about creating a safe, respectful space for both of you to thrive. When you respect your own needs, you model that for your partner, and you create a relationship built on mutual respect and shared peace. This is how we start building towards being stronger together, which is exactly what we'll explore in Sunday's episode. So my uplifting life partners, today's takeaway is powerful. Setting healthy boundaries is not an act of, it's actually an act of self-love. It's not about pushing people away. It's about drawing clear lines that protect your peace, your energy, and your authentic self. And when you master this, you empower yourself and you lay down groundwork for truly thriving relationships. See, this journey of self-love is foundational. So next, we're going to take what you learn about your core self and your boundaries and apply it directly to your most important connections. So make sure, as the way we're going to continue this is by you showing up on Sunday, where we're going to do Marriage Builder Sunday, Stronger Together, and we'll explore how identifying and establishing boundaries fueled by your self-love creates an unbreakable bond. So for more exclusive training, if you want to get the books, tapes, CDs, the different things that we have, go to Simplified Uplifters app. Inside of Google Play or the Apple stores under Simplified U. The letter U, not the word you. And the U, it stands for Uplifters. That's the easy way to remember it. So if you rather see it on the web versus actually the app, go to simplifieduplifters.net. It's a duplication of the app. So I want to thank you, my uplifting life partners, for joining me today on this transformative Self-Love Wednesday. Until next time, I want you to make sure you remember your power. You are extraordinary.